boys and girls of Nana Rose. We just read Hey, Get Off Our Train by John Burningham. There's a lot of material that John Burningham covers in this particular story. The first one, you kind of have a clue because he dedicated it to Chico Mendes and his attempts to save the rainforest in Brazil. So you know that it's about the environment, you know that it's about endangered species and animals. So that's a conversation, parents, that you can have with your kids right there. There's a lot of information you can find on the internet about different animals that are currently endangered species. When John Burningham wrote this book, each of the animals that are shown in the book are endangered species. So a discussion about what endangered means, what it means if we lose species. There's a photographer with the National Geographic who's doing a project trying to photograph every single animal species that we know of before it goes extinct. And there are a lot of wonderful photographs to be found on the National Geographic site with that program. So a discussion about what does it mean? Extinction means forever. That if we lose an animal, it's never coming back. And what are we responsible for as stewards of this planet in making sure that that happens? So that's a discussion that you can have with your children. But kids like to do things that are fun. So I just drew a train. I'm going to hold it up so you can see it. It's not an actual realistic looking train, but it gives you an idea. I have a few empty train cars. When you give children a suggestion or an idea, then their imaginations can fly. If you tell them exactly what to do, that's not conducive to the imagination. And if you just hand them a blank piece of paper, some children will flourish with that, and others will really struggle not knowing where to start. So this gives an idea. For example, the middle car, I have a wavy line. That could mean water to a kid, but it doesn't have to. They can draw anything they want. I have windows in one car. I have cage bars in another car. They're suggestions, but that doesn't mean that anything. I mean, if a child draws a whale in this car, you don't tell them it's wrong. It's just ideas for them to use as a jumping off point. So if you did that and handed them a train car, they could then draw their own animals. But if they're not a great artist or they don't feel that they could do that, again, the internet is full of ideas. These are different things that I printed off the internet. I didn't put the locomotive on that picture because that's not important. I wanted the kids to draw what they saw in the cars. So you could, if your child is into trains, you could find lots of train coloring pages on the internet. And then I found each of the animals. I wanted to go for a slightly realistic look, but I didn't want a cartoon version, but I also didn't want it to be, too obviously a scary version of the animal. Like this one, it's not exactly realistic, but it's not a cartoon either. So each of the animals that's found in the story, I found. But your child may be totally into another species or know a little bit about what animals are endangered. So you could use lots of different photos. But again, most of these are coloring pages that you can find on the internet. Just type in coloring page and then the animal you're looking for. Can't forget the dog, because he did have his pajama case dog. And then I did both a boy and a girl, because although there's a boy in the story, it doesn't have to be. I could find an androgynous child on the internet, if that was important to me and to my child. I could find children of color. If it's a child like this, they can color it any way they want, but there are definite things that, hair or clothing might suggest different cultures. And last but not least, our friend the seal. So they could either color these pictures and attach them to the train, or they could draw them freehand on the train. Lots of options, lots of ideas. But I wanted to pick up the question that I asked in the other video is, the last sentence that John Burningham has in the book is, does this have anything to do with you? Now we could just take that at face value, that the mother wants to know, does it have anything to do with the kid, that all these animals are in the house, in the laundry room and on the stairs and so forth, in the freezer. But I think it's a bigger question. Does this have anything to do with us? And let's face it, kids, you're the next generation. You're going to inherit this planet from the adults. So we need to be good stewards of this planet and take good care of the animal species, because if we lose them forever. So keep that in mind. Have some coloring fun. But whatever you do today, look at our environment. Look at the animals in your backyard or your front yard or out your window, or go for a nature walk in a park. But whatever you do today, have fun.